Distinguished participants, honorable guests, it is a distinct privilege as well as pleasure to address the Eco Global Forum Guiyang 2021. Over the last decade, the Eco Global Forum Guiyang has held 10 successful sessions and has become one of the leading and globally important forums for discussion of the vital themes of protection of natural environment and of sustainable development. The level of achievement of the forum has grown over the years. This has helped the broader efforts of China to address the issues of sustainable development effectively. Moreover, this work has contributed to developing a new vision of development, the vision of a new era of eco-civilization declared by President Xi Jinping. With the Eco Forum Global Guiyang, this vision already enjoys a precious opportunity for serious consideration of policy priorities and for identification of practical steps that will help making this vision a reality. At the heart of the policy priorities for building the new era of eco-civilization is the question of financing. This is also the theme of this year's Eco Global Forum Guiyang. Financial sector is important in any type of economic and social development. It is also of vital importance for the realization of the vision of the new era of eco-civilization. First of all, financing must be linked to projects that serve the achievement of objectives to reduce the emissions of greenhouse gases significantly over the next decade. This is necessary to achieve carbon neutrality, an essential ingredient of the new era of eco-civilization. Some among the current expert estimates for China envisage that China's carbon dioxide emission could peak before 2030 and even before 2025, and that the share of fossil fuels would be reduced so that the non-fossil fuels will be scaled up to 25% by 2030. In other words, there exists an opportunity to accelerate action and to achieve significant progress in China during the current decade and carbon neutrality by 2060. Now in Europe, too, we see the opportunities to speed up climate action. The European Commission, the executive branch of the European Union, plans to cut greenhouse gas emissions by at least 55% by 2030. This sets Europe on a realistic path to becoming a carbon neutral place by 2050, 10 years before China. Now, the financial instruments for achieving these ambitious objectives have to be developed accordingly. Importantly, the post-COVID-19 recovery represents an opportunity. Financing the recovery after current COVID-19 pandemic has to include finance for technological transformation and for investment in energy. The massive European recovery plan adopted by the European Union envisaging financing in the amount of about 2 trillion euros. The largest part of that financing, about 30%, will be devoted to fighting climate change. At the global level, the financial instruments will also have to be adjusted to the needs of a fundamental redirection of development towards ecological and social sustainability. This must include both public and private funding. The principles of ecological, social, and governance factor financing, the famous ESG financing, should be adjusted to additional financial resources will be made available to allow financing in low carbon projects. The role of regulation and regulators is significant in this context. Development of an eco-civilization will require climate proofing, ideally of all future investments. All the new projects should pass appropriate tests regarding their compatibility with the midterm objectives of reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. Admittedly, climate proofing is a gigantic task, but also one that is becoming increasingly needed. Now, measures like climate proofing and providing significant additional finance represent a major part of the spectrum of instruments for the future. On the other side of the spectrum, there is the need to reduce and gradually phase out investment in fossil fuels. Progress is needed on both sides of the spectrum. Now, the two sets of strategic tasks in the field of finance, the one devoted to expansion of green financing and the other in phasing out fossil fuel financing are very demanding. They will be well served by careful and, when necessary, confidential consultations among all actors involved, the government, the businesses, and financial institutions. I would call these consultations safe space consultations. Their purpose would be to devise realistic yet ambitious practices of change. They need to be organized both within states and internationally, and should allow both a realistic assessment of risks and an ambitious decisions for change. Now, this year's Eco Forum Global Guiyang represents an important opportunity for such consultations. I wish the participants all success, and I hope to be able to take part in one of the future meetings of the Eco Forum Global Guiyang in person as well. And I thank you for your attention.